Ladies and gentlemen, I've been asked to do a video on immigration and my view of it. And I take Ayn Rand's view of it. The objectivist line on immigration is that there should be open immigration. Someone asked Ayn Rand, doesn't your position of selfishness mean that you would want to keep the country for yourself and keep other people from being in it? And she says two things about that. First of all, no, selfishness does not mean your right to claim things at the expense of others. So even if it were true, let's say, that keeping people out of your country would make your country a better place, you're still not allowed to do that with regards to selfishness, because selfish means that you're allowed to do what you want to benefit with yourself without hurting others. But to keep others from living in a free country, in essence, to force them to continue to live in dictatorships or controlled economies, is not a way for you to get anything for yourself. It's not a moral way. You have to get things for yourself by production and trade, not by forcing other people to stay out of your country. That's the first point. But the second point is that first point is just it's a moot question, because you don't get hurt when people come into your country. You benefit if it's a free society. On the condition, ladies and gentlemen, that it's a free society, okay? First thing I'm going to get is 1,000 people saying, what about the Mexicans who come here and get health care and they flood our schools and they don't pay any taxes and stuff? I don't think we should have public education. I don't think we should have Medicare. I don't think we should have the WIC program. I don't think we should have food stamps. I don't think we should have any of the stuff the Mexicans come here and get, and Puerto Ricans and whoever else. Same thing's happening in Europe. They bring in all the Muslims and they give them free housing and unemployment benefits and stuff. That's no argument against immigration. That's an argument against the welfare state, against food stamps and unemployment insurance. So, let's look at it now. If it's a free country, and say some Mexicans are coming into America, and let's assume America were a free country. So they can't get any welfare benefits, entitlements or anything. They get here and they have to work, okay? Now, they're more than likely fairly poor if they're trying to get into this country, right? I mean, if they just move here and buy a house, that's different. But if they're just trying to get here, even illegally, in any way that they can, that's the type of people we're talking about, whether we want to stop them from coming in. You would not be able to go have a burger at Chili's or Applebee's for $7 or whatever it is, 6 or 8 or however much money it is. You wouldn't be able to go do that if it weren't for the fact that there are quite a lot of immigrants working in agriculture and in the food industry. But it's the ones lower down on the pay scale that take away the jobs from you and I, right? Because we're all just lined up trying to be cooks. We're all just lined up trying to dig ditches in California, right? And the only reason we're not being cooks and digging ditches is because the Mexicans have taken our jobs. No, that's nonsense. We don't want to work those jobs. People who are born in America, educated here, have our whole lives to decide what to do. It's not our life's goal to get a job as a cook, okay? Or to dig ditches or to, do something like that. But these Mexicans come here and they take these jobs. They take low-level, entry-level jobs with low skills or no skills required. And they keep the price of everything that they touch lower than it would have been. So, to the extent that immigrants come in and take the low-paying jobs and stuff, that's what we want. That's what we want. We want to go to Chili's and have our burger, and have the guy washing dishes not be getting $10 an hour, but more like $6 would be nice. Lowers the price of the burger you're buying. Lowers the price of the beer that you're drinking. So it actually benefits you. What about more educated people? Oddly enough, America's got this a set of rules. All countries have these bizarre rules for immigration, where they're willing to let you come if you've got money and a degree and a job lined up or whatever, and it's much easier to get in than if you've only got $100 to your name and you're just trying to start a new life. We don't want those people. This is odd, but not really too odd, because actually, we are benefited by rich people moving here as well. They come and they bring their money and their skills, their productivity. Now, if you really believe that the fewer people in a country, the better off it is, then you're going to say that a little teeny island with 50 people on it in the middle of the Pacific is a better place to be than Hong Kong or New York City. And I disagree. I would much rather be in Hong Kong or New York City for the benefits to me in my life than to be on an island with 50 people. Now that's just the reductio ad absurdum. Maybe you're going to come back and say, well, there's a middle ground. You have to have a certain number of people, but too many is too many. Hong Kong is my point still. How is that too many people? That is one of the richest societies there are. It does not lead to poverty, it leads to wealth. Unless you're just saying you don't like it to be crowded, but that's a stupid argument. Especially in the United States, we've got a lot of room. There's no reason to worry about that. Immigration should be open. You have no right to keep this country for you by holding other people down and keeping them in dictatorships and stuff. You do not have a right to keep other people in bad situations. And it doesn't help you anyway. You want them to come here and lower the price of things and bring their skills and their possibly innovative ideas, like all the German scientists we got in the 30s and 40s, including Einstein. Yeah, immigration should be open. This is the one area on which I depart from Mark Stein. He thinks we should have the right to close our borders. He thinks it's a tragedy that we have people coming across the border of Mexico. He thinks that we need to lock that down, and he's got this in his mind. This will be my closing piece on this subject. Mark Stein has got this idea in his mind that we need to keep our society for ourselves, because over in Europe, Britain and Stockholm and Sweden and France are not keeping their societies for themselves. They are inviting in massive numbers of people and telling those people to stay the way that they were. Come to our country and do not change. Now, Mark Stein is confused by this. Actually, the problem there is the multicultural message, come here and don't change. The problem isn't that they're coming. The problem is that they're coming and not changing. So when citizens from other countries move to America, and we do not have all these special laws and these regulations to keep their culture in place, and we do not have all this religious level, it's a multiculturalism on a religious level. People are zealots about multiculturalism, and we do not have that as strongly integrated or as powerful or as centrally taught as they do in Europe. And that's the real problem in Europe, not immigration. We are absorbing many more immigrants in absolute numbers and per capita in the United States. We are absorbing many more immigrants than any European country is. Why are they having problems with immigrants? Why are we not? Unless you call September 11th a problem with immigrants. I call it a war with Islam. That's not a problem of immigration, and we wouldn't be able to stop stuff like that by just not having immigrants. No immigrants, and then no one's going to attack us ever again? Didn't work in 1940s. Japan attacked us even though we had extremely restricted immigration throughout the 20s and 30s. So, open immigration is the only way to go. It's the only moral road, and it's the best way to benefit yourself and your country. You want smart, intelligent, motivated people to come to your country. Now, they aren't necessarily educated, and you don't necessarily want educated people. You want people who are going to come to your country and work hard, people who are willing to leave behind everything. The place where they grew up and the town they grew up in and the people that they knew and maybe even their family, or else they'll bring their family. People who are going to leave behind their home country to come to your country. That's motivated. You want these people on your side, and you don't have a right to reject them anyway. So we should have open immigration. We should only turn away people who are criminals or who have some sort of contagious disease. Other than that, we should have open borders. Or, criminals includes like being suspected of being a terrorist and stuff. So, somebody drop a note to Mark Stein and just let him know that it's multiculturalism that's caused the problems in Europe, not immigration.